Okay, so we've been through a lot together in this course, and I wanted to go through all of what we learned and what we're gonna learn. Um, I think it's important for you guys to know, um, and you can also start already doing a lot of tests because we know most of the material already. So you can do most tests. You can already start solving them, preparing for the test that you're going to have. You can already start. You can just take a test, send it to any AI of your choice, ask it, does it have any of the subjects that we haven't learned yet, mainly dynamic programming and um, greedy algorithms. Those are the only two we haven't learned yet. So you just ask it if it has any of those subjects. Most of the tests don't have either of them. So you'll be able to do most tests already. So you can already start doing a test a week, two tests a week, however many you can to start preparing for our test. Um, so let's just go quickly over the what we have learned in this course. We've learned data structures. We've learned linear data structures, the ones that we went through in this recitation. This was more algorithmic, but we did go through um, linked list and arrays. We also learned stacking queues in previous recitations. We've seen a bunch of algorithms. We've seen how they work, how to implement them. We've seen hierarchical structures. We've seen, which are mostly in this case, trees and heaps. This is what we learned in this course, trees and heaps. We learned binary trees. We've learned search trees, AVL and B, and we also learned regular search trees. Um, and we also learned proofs on trees, which is a big part of this whole topic. Because in order to prove that your algorithm works, sometimes you need to prove certain qualities on the tree after it returns from the algorithm. So in order to prove the algorithm, you need to know proofs on trees, which is also something that we've learned. We've also learned mapping data structures, which are hash tables. You also know those. So we know all of the data structures that are required in this course. We also learned efficiency analysis. We learned big O notation, asymptotic notation. We learned amortized analysis pretty recently, cool subject. We learned recursive analysis, which are recursive formulas. We learned how to create a recursive formula from an algorithm, divide and conquer algorithm. We learned how to create the formula and how to analyze it, analyze the runtime. We also touched on expectancy analysis in hash tables. We touched that. So you also do know, if you go over that again, we do know how to do this, how to analyze expectancy. Um, and now we learned some paradigms, some different methods of solving algorithms. We learned divide and conquer, which you already know. And then these are the only two subjects that are still left in the course. We have dynamic programming and um, greedy algorithms, which are going to be next three recitations. So besides for them, you know the whole course, and I highly recommend going through the starting to do tests because you can do almost all of the tests. There's just some that have dynamic programming. So you just have to ask ChatGPT if a test has dynamic programming. If it does not, you can start solving. You can do the whole test. You can start giving yourself time. You can start without time, whatever you need, and you can start studying for the test. I highly recommend starting sooner rather than later. Don't leave it to the last minute, even though all students love to cram. Um, Start just maybe a question here, a question there from tests. You can do almost all the questions. Um, I also recommend, this is just another little tip, um, to if you have if you have Gemini, because we are students, we get 1 year free Gemini. Just search it up on Google, student Gemini plan, and it'll come up. You have to send it the student card, and it'll give you a year free Gemini. And now with free Gemini, you can open up the Google Drive on the tests, and you can ask it for questions in a specific topic from the tests, which is really cool feature. And then you can solve questions by topic. If you want to practice divide and conquer, you ask Gemini, hey, can you find me three divide and conquer algorithms from the year 2020 and onwards? And it'll look through those folders and it'll find you three good divide and conquer algorithms. divide and conquer questions, and you can practice just by topic, which is very, very cool. I recommend solving by topic instead of just jumping around. First, master each topic and then solve a whole test. There's just a couple of tips to start studying now. Um, if you have any questions on this material, on the homework or whatever, please do reach out, send me an email and or a WhatsApp, and let's meet on the Shot Kabbalah, the hours, the open office hours, because this obviously was a recording, and I do want you to be able to ask questions. So if you have any questions, feel free to email me. Um, and yeah, see you next week.